morning, my dear students. Hope you all are fine, and I expect that you all have read this chapter, that is the chapter number 1, tissues, plant tissues and animal tissues. Students, in the previous class we learnt about the tissues and the various levels of organization in an organism depending upon whether it is unicellular or multicellular. We have also seen that how the various functions are carried out in the body of an unicellular organism and a multicellular organisms. Today we are going to study about, first of all, we will focus at a general idea about plant tissues and animal tissue. In this topic, children, we will compare the plant tissues with animal tissues, and we will conclude that how the different types of tissues are formed, what is the reason behind a particular type of tissue being present in a plant or animal. Then next we will see the details of plant tissues and the classification of plant tissues into meristematic tissues and permanent tissue. Children, today this classification will be an introductory part again, and in the next class we will study meristematic tissues and permanent tissue in detail. So let us begin for today, children. Students, before diving into the details of these topics, I have some questions in my mind for you all. If you know the answer by yourself, then feel that yes, you are understanding this chapter nicely. You can comment me in the comment box also later on. My first question is, children, do plants really have tissues? Do they really have tissues? Yes, of course. Since they are multicellular organisms, that means their body is made up of more than one cells, and a plant is not just a tiny creature, it is visible, isn't it? Well built with root system, shoot system, leaves, flower, fruit, branches, stem, everything, isn't it? That means a plant has also got a well developed tissue system. Okay, so the answer to this question is yes, plants do have tissues. My next question is, are the tissues of plant similar to tissues of animals? Now think a little children, decide. Are the tissues of plant similar to the tissues of animals? You should know this. No, children, the tissues of plants are not similar to tissues of animals. Now one more question, the third one. Why so? Why the tissues of plants are not similar to the tissues of animals? The reason is very simple, children. Let us understand it. Plants are stationary, isn't it? Plants are stationary. That means plants do not move from one place to another like human beings. We can move from one place to another, isn't it? Even other animals, they can move from one place to another. What about the plants? They don't move from one place to another, but there are some restricted movement in plants also, isn't it? Like geotropism, that is the growth of the root towards the earth. Then phototropism, the growth of certain parts of the plant like flower. Best example is sunflower. It always faces the sun. So that bending movement of a plant kept inside the room near the window towards the light is another example. So these are some types of tropic movements that are seen in plants, but not the movements like we see in animals. And if you take a detailed look, children, into the plant tissues, you will be surprised. You will be surprised to know that most of the plant tissues, they are dead. They are made up of dead cells. Why so? Why do the plants have dead tissues more than the living tissues? This is a very important question. Children, if you have a notebook with you, you should always sit with a notebook, pencil, pen. That means your stationery with you when you are attending the class or watching the video. Please do it. Write down this question, children. I am telling you that why do the plants have dead tissues more than the living tissues? Children, the answer to this question is that because the plants need only mechanical support. The plants need only mechanical support, and the dead tissues, I will tell you in detail beta in later part of the chapter. I'll tell you, don't worry. The dead tissues provide mechanical support. Plant requires mostly mechanical support and strength. It does not have a very complex life like the animals. Like it doesn't have a very well developed system for circulation or excretion. All the processes of the plants, I am talking about the life processes, they all are very simple, including your photosynthesis, respiration, everything, absorption of water by roots, by diffusion or osmosis, everything is very simple, children. So depending upon all these factors, the plant tissues are also very simple. Plants require very less living tissues, okay, and that tissue also for what? For performing cellular respiration, for that is your gaseous exchange and then breaking down of glucose, then in order to liberate energy so that it can sustain its life, it can remain alive, the plant can remain alive. Or photosynthesis, isn't it? So wherever these processes are occurring beta, these are the physiology of plants. Physiology of plant means life processes that occur inside the plant body, such as photosynthesis, absorption of water, transpiration, etc. These occur in the living tissues. Generally, when you will go to higher classes, you will come to know a lot is there to explore. So, yes, of course. Now tell me about animals. Do they move? Yeah, they do. Of course they move. We all can move from one place to another. Our movement is not restricted to just the movement of fingers or arms or legs. It's not like that. We are capable, the cat, rat, whoever it is, we all are capable of moving from one place to another because we are not fixed on the ground, like unlike the plants. Plants are fixed on the ground. So unlike plants, animals require different types of tissues, children, for performing different functions. So almost all the tissues in animals, whether it is a cat or elephant or a human being, almost all the tissues, they are living. Okay, point to be noted here beta. All the tissues of animals, they are living. Now these tissues need nutrition to grow, isn't it, to carry out the day-to-day functions of the body and so on. So conclusion is that animals require a lot of maintenance. That is why the animal body is composed of more complex tissues, more complex organs or more complex organ system depending upon the type of animal we are talking about. Okay. So this is all about the comparison. With this we come to the conclusion that since the plants has a very few simple life processes to conduct, that is why the tissues in plants, they are very simple, just opposite to what we see in case of animals. Children, with this we come to the conclusion that plant tissues are of two types. First is the dividing tissues, The dividing tissue contains or consists of cells which are capable of dividing, and these dividing tissues are known as what? They are known as the meristematic tissues. Next is what, children? The second type is permanent tissues. These are also known as the non-dividing tissues of the plant. Why so, beta? Because non-dividing tissues are made up of cells that do not divide. Okay, the cells that do not divide. I hope till here everything is clear, children. In case of any doubt, you will ask me. I am repeating, students. Plant tissues are of two types. First is dividing tissues, also known as the meristematic tissue, and second is the permanent tissue, also known as the non-dividing tissue. Okay, these tissues, they do not divide. Now let us see the entire flow chart, the entire classification of plant tissues first, and then we will go into the detail one by one for each type of tissue. Okay, so let us see, children. Plant tissues are broadly classified into two groups. First group is called the meristematic tissues, and the second one is the permanent tissues. In meristematic tissues, the cells are capable of dividing, and that is the reason they are found in only those regions where there is growth. Okay, means those locations of the plant body where growth occurs. Let me teach you a little bit about it. Like suppose I am drawing one plant over here. Okay, there is a plant, beta. Now this is the ground level. The roots are located under the ground, okay, in the soil. Now the tip of the root grows, isn't it? So this is one growth region, tip of roots. Meristematic tissue will be found here. Then where, children? The sides, the stem, as it is very young, the one which I have drawn, I have shown you a young plant. When it grows, beta, over the time the size of the stem also increases in width. So here also meristematic tissue is present, and growth occurs how? Growth occurs by the division of meristematic tissue cells. One cell divides into 2, 2 into 4, 4 into 8, 8 into 32, 32 into 64, and so on, like that. So that is why we say that meristematic tissues are composed of cells which are actively dividing. Next is what, beta? Tip of the stem. This also keeps on growing, and this will contribute to the increase in height of the plant. So one example, we have seen increase in length in case of roots, then we have seen increase in width, and finally we have seen increase in height of the stem, and these all the three are due to the division in the meristematic tissue cells. Hope it is clear, children. In case of any doubt, do let me know in the comment box, and subscribe the channel, children, so that you can get the notification whenever I upload a video or go for a live session, like for test or questionnaire or any type of discussion related to your class. Okay, children, next is permanent tissue. Permanent tissues are nothing but they are actually transformation of meristematic tissues. Beta, when the cells of the meristematic tissues of any region, any growing region of the plant body stops dividing or loses the capacity of dividing, they convert themselves into tissues called permanent tissue. That means permanent tissue originate or arise or gets derived from meristematic tissues only. And why they are called permanent tissue? Because now these cells, the cells of this tissue, they have completely lost their capability to divide. They don't divide, they behave as if they are dead. So you can see there is a lot of difference. Only one section you can see that living cells are there, but in the other section all are dead. All are Dead. So this is what I was teaching you when I started the class today. So most of the tissues of the plant, they are dead. Why we are calling them dead? Because some of them don't have nucleus, and in a cell, suppose there is no cell, cell is called the brain of the nucleus is called the brain of the cell. No nucleus, no DNA, RNA, no life, isn't it? That is why. So we will deal that in later part of the chapter, children. For now we got meristematic tissue and permanent tissue. Now these permanent tissue, beta, they are further divided into 3 subcategories. The first and based on what? Based on the function they perform. Okay, permanent tissues are classified into 3 categories based on the function they perform. First is protective tissue, that means protective permanent tissue. Second is supporting permanent tissue, and the third one is conducting permanent tissue. As the name indicates, you all must have understood that the first type, that is protective tissue, does protection of roots, stem, leaves and other parts of the plant. Why? Because they are present on the surface of these parts. Second is supporting tissue. Again, supporting tissue is of 3 subcategories or three subgroups, that is parenchyma, collenchyma and sclerenchyma. We will study the detail of these tissues, children, in later part of the chapter. So again, supporting we got 3 types. Last one is the conducting tissue. Very important. Very important, children. Conducting tissue or the transporting tissue of the plant body. If they would not have been present in the plant body, we can't imagine about the transportation of any substance, any molecule in the plant body. So that is very important. And conducting system of plant tissue, that is the conducting tissue of plant tissue, are similar to the circulatory system of the animals. Okay. So again, the conducting tissue, which is also known as transporting tissue or vascular tissue. Very important word, vascular. Vascular means vessel like, pipe like. Pipe पता है ना, पानी का जो pipe होता है, like that. So they are again of 2 types. One is xylem, other is phloem. Beta, xylem, as you have studied in your lower grades also in class 5-6, xylem is associated with the conduction of water and minerals from the roots to the different parts of the plant, and phloem is associated with the conduction of the prepared food, that is the glucose, from the kitchen of the plant, beta, leaves of the plant, to the different parts of the plant. I hope you have understood the overview. From the next class, we will study the detail of each and every tissue of plant. Okay. So with this, we come to the end of this session, children. In case of any doubt, please let me know in the comment box. Do subscribe and also click the bell icon so that you can get the notification of all my videos and live sessions. Thank you so much, children. Thank you all of you. Take care.